All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about yet again Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yes, I know. You're like, gee, another Assassin's Creed Shadows video? And I have to respond with yes, unfortunately so, because it looks like there is a legend in the field that has now decided to condemn us angry gamers. Yes, they're trying to condemn gamers for being angry over Japan being represented by somebody who is not Japanese in the samurai spirit, no less. Yes, we're angry about that, but oh, it's historical accuracy. Yeah, miss me with that nonsense. We got Capcom legend reminds players that Assassin's Creed Shadows is not reality. With some highlights, they say veteran developer Yoshiki Okamoto supports the game, highlighting its positive aspects and encouraging players to choose between the two protagonists.
But shut up, Wesley.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call the equivalent of having a friend who's black, right? What they're doing is they're trying to utilize high-profile names that are Japanese to try to push the notion that what they're doing with Assassin's Creed Shadows is perfectly fine. It's A-OK, and all the Japanese love it, even though there is currently a petition out there that has over 50,000 signatures and rising very quickly that was started by the Japanese, and they're not very happy over what's going on, and you can't exactly blame them. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Okamoto emphasizes the game is fantasy, not reality, and criticizes the negative backlash it has received. Assassin's Creed Shadows has had a rough time since it was revealed. Not because it looks bad, it looks fine. Imagine trying to convince people that this game is going to be good by saying, oh, it looks fine. Like, you have no interest in this whatsoever. If you have to say a video game just looks fine, yeah, you're not exactly very excited about it, and you're not exactly passing that off to the reader as well. Like, if I'm the reader and I'm looking at this and I'm like, this person clearly is not excited for this game. He just has a shill for it because obviously that's his job. But mainly because of the game featuring a historically accurate black protagonist, which, by the way, it's historically accurate only in name. It's not historically accurate in anything else, but they love to throw out that term historically accurate because this is the way they can allow for the shilling of black people in a place that they aren't normally there. That's just the truth of it. Within minutes of the game's first trailer dropping, a vocal crowd declared the game woke, and in the preceding days, the video on YouTube was hit with over 500,000 dislikes. Although it's hard to see just how far the disrespect has gone, enough noise was made that Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot was forced to make a statement condemning the hateful acts aimed at the game. Now, I made a video on Yves. I already know it's stupid. It's ridiculous. The guy is just obviously trying to shill for the game that he himself is going to profit heavily off of. He's gotten plenty of ESG and DEI money lining his executive pockets that there's no reason why he wouldn't show for it, right? If the CEO, like, you're not going to try to be a CEO of $1 billion company and try to morally overthrow me. Like, that's just not going to work. Like, I'm not going to listen to some CEO as the arbiter of justice here. Like, you're a CEO, right? And I get it. You worked your way up, no problem. But at the end of the day, you're a fucking billionaire, right? You've made some shortcuts in order to get to where you are. That's just the truth of it. And you take advantage of certain systems, which are, every billionaire does it perfectly fine. If I was a billionaire, I would do it too. But I'm just saying, don't try to sit as if you're something like some sort of moral superiority. Like you're just not. That just does not. That's not how that works. And then it says, although it's hard to see how far the disrespect has gone, enough noise was made that the CEO made the statement condemning hateful acts. Now another veteran developer with credits in games from series like Street Fighter, Mega Man, Resident Evil, and The Legend of Zelda has come out to remind those complaining that it's a game, it's fantasy, not reality. Now let's listen to what this guy has to say, because I actually have a very interesting question for this particular person here. Speaking on his YouTube channel and translated by Automaton Media, veteran Yoshiki Okamoto shares that he was aware of the backlash that Assassin's Creed Shadows is facing. However, he has decided to look at things from a more positive perspective. Listen, nothing wrong with that. Good for you. But just because you choose to look at things from a positive perspective doesn't mean that everybody else is going to do the same exact thing, nor should they, right? You can be positive all you want. Maybe you're being paid to be positive. Maybe that's just how you are in your nature. But to completely ignore the backlash and the reason why why the backlash is there in the first place, to ignore it as if it's not happening and just focus on the positive, you're being naive. But let's continue. This is the important part here. Okamoto states that actually having two protagonists, one black and one female, is a good thing, and that it will encourage players to think about which character and playstyle would be more advantageous for clearing certain parts of the game. He compares Shadows to one of his games, Genji Dawn of the Samurai, which also was set in a similar time period and featured dual protagonists. He states that while he hoped his game turned out like Shadows, the team weren't able to pull it off at the time, but I think Ubisoft will, which is why I have high hopes for it. He later adds that he will be buying and playing Assassin's Creed Shadows when it releases. Now, that's what this entire video is about, right? So this is a paid-for advertisement from Ubisoft, guaranteed. They paid him, and they said, hey, we need you to shill for this game. Use your platform, use your YouTube channel to do it, and basically act like our black friend, right? Like everybody always says when they're not racist, oh, I got this black friend, I got that black friend. This is the equivalent of that, but with Japanese people. Now, the funny thing is, he talks about his game, Genji Dawn of the Samurai. Now, I myself pulled up Genji Dawn of the Samurai. It was a PlayStation 2 game. And do you think that Mr. Shill for Assassin's Creed Shadows featured a black samurai in his game? You know, for a game that apparently the protagonist doesn't matter. It doesn't make the story, right? Even though it does. Protagonists obviously make the story. But this person is trying to say that it doesn't. Well, apparently, do you think it was a black samurai? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. This man went full on with what you would expect for a game based in feudal Japan, ladies and gentlemen. This game is 100% what you would expect from a game based in feudal Japan. So for this person to try to say, oh, it doesn't matter, who cares if there's a black person in it? You're full of shit, bro, because if that's the case, you would have been doing the same thing ages ago. So it makes you wonder why there isn't a black samurai in this particular game, even though it's older, right? If you were really thinking about this the entire time, you would have brought this up back then as well. And then it says, while he discusses Shadow's gameplay extensively, Okamoto's most poignant points about the game revolve around his distaste for the backlash it has received. It's a game. It's fantasy, not reality, he states, adding that even if Oda Nobunaga's family crest it's upside down, that's just the Oda Nobunaga in the game. It does not impact how entertaining the game is. Bro, what? What? Don't you think it's highly insulting? If they're trying to utilize certain information from actual history, don't you think it's insulting for them to not even care to get it right? Yeah, the crest being upside down, that can absolutely upset some people. Even if it seems minuscule at the end of the day, you are choosing to represent certain parts of the game based off history. So you should at least put in the time to get it right. And if you're not going to get it right, what the fuck? That's like telling me I shouldn't be upset that you put the Cuban flag for the Puerto Rican character called Miles Morales, right? Like, why would I not be upset about that? You didn't even bother to be remotely accurate. You didn't even care. It wasn't an important thing to you. It shows laziness. It shows just actual disdain for the representation that you claim is so important in the first place. So I can't agree with this particular notion. I agreed with some of the earlier stuff he said, but I can't agree with this. That just sounds so fucking dumb. Okamoto's words joined those of Yves and Assassin's Creed series producer Mark Alexis Cody, who have both released statements defending the upcoming game. Oh, so everybody who has a stake in this game is defending the game? Shocker, man. I would never see that coming. No way. That's never happened before. You mean people who will financially benefit from the success of this game are shilling for this game and defending it? No fucking way. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.